All right, well, everybody, welcome. Thank you for being here today on this second day of spring. Just as before we get into Larry's presentation, just a little bit about YogaCare. And some of you may be new to us or maybe don't know all of the things that we do. So YogaCare is a grassroots 501c3 organization that was founded in 2014. So we've been around for about 8 years. And what we do is increase access to community-based yoga and self-care and employee wellness services across the Chicago area. We co-develop these programs with health and social service organizations to promote health. And then we also provide scholarships for yoga teacher training in both English and now in Spanish most recently for groups that are underrepresented in the yoga industry, specifically again in Chicago. You can find our class schedule online on our website under classes. So all the information is up here on the screen, as well as our various social media feeds. And for today, this wellness circle is our second one of a new monthly workshop series that is for the broader community. Everyone is welcome. It is donation based, and we are going deeper into various yoga topics. Last month, Melissa Kirshner, who's on the call, presented on the 8 limbs of yoga. And today, Dr. Larry Turner will be presenting on pranayama or breath work. This program is the specific wellness circle program is supported by Live Healthy Chicago, which is an initiative of Westside United, 40 Acres Fresh Market, My Block, My Hood, My City, the MAAFA Redemption Project, and Rush University. And it's funded by Oprah's Angel Network. So with that, I will hand it over to Dr. Larry Turner. He is a licensed clinical psychologist, a registered nurse, substance abuse therapist, and a certified yoga therapist, and specializes in working with trauma, and he loves teaching breathwork. So I'm excited to see what he has for us today. Thank you.
I'm on?
You're on, Larry.
Okay. Well, welcome everyone. Thank you for that kind introduction, Molly. I'll send you the check in the mail for doing that. I appreciate that. I keep seeing something on my screen. It kept saying continue. And, but first, just want to say in general, breath is central to a lot of cultures, and it's connected spiritually, not just in yoga as we have it here in America, but all over the world. Different cultures have different implications for it, but they kind of all meet together. So I'm going to show you some. I see we have a lot of different people from different backgrounds, and so I'm going to try to give a little bit for everyone. Some therapists are here, and I'll just share some of my experiences in being a psychologist and a trauma nurse and in different parts of the world, and how these things worked for me, and perhaps they can work for you and your relatives as well. Okay, so before we get started, generally this is what we're going to do. Let's everyone take a breath, but the breath starts with the exhale. Okay, exhale, gently bring your navel back to your spine. And just gently inhale. And gently exhale. Nice and gentle, and inhale. One more time.
Can you guys see?
Okay. Oh, that was the first one. Okay. So the title of this is breath. And just as I said, breath is an integration. And all of the different cultures, it kind of meets at the same spiritual place, that the breath is an integration into oneness. Okay? So before we see the next slide, again, bring the navel gently back to your spine and sit up tall. Make the spine tall. And inhale. And exhale. Okay. Next slide, Judy. This solar breath represents the transmission of an invisible energy source, like electricity, running through the visible and living entities. There is only one power, which is symbolically represented as the breath. This power of breath is transmitted from ancestors to descendants, all the way back to the Creator. This comes out of the book of another clinical psychologist named Dr. Naeem Akbar in 1994. He was in Egypt. And as I said at the beginning, all the cultures, majority of the cultures in the world, at some point breathing doesn't, it automatically happens by itself, but I want to add a visualization with that. The images that we saw at first, when we saw that our lungs, gently close your eyes, straighten your spine, and exhale. Inhale, gently visualize your diaphragm going down, the side ribs going out, the lungs filling up, and exhale. Now continue. Make it easy. So breath is more than just oxygen. It is a life force. You cannot do without it. Continue your breathing. And open your eyes and relax. Okay, so you can do it sitting in a chair, but the main thing okay, so position, sitting, standing, walking. So the breath work is designed to get you into kind of like it's meditation, the beginning of meditation. Okay? And meditation is very, very important as you begin to sort out the different things that are going on in your life and those around you. Acceptance, change. Okay. But there are certain things that can prevent breath work. And I'll tell you about the ratios of breath work after this. So what do you guys think, before we show you the answer, what do you think could prevent breath work from being effective? What was that? Oh, okay. Deep breath in, gently exhale.
Hey, Larry,
Okay.
we can't see your beautiful face.
Uh-oh. Okay, next slide. She's on the slides, though, right?
She's on the slides, but we're also seeing you. We see both.
Okay, how's that? Is that better?
That's better.
Okay. Dang, I can't see me. Okay. Okay. So what can prevent you from being grounded, so to speak, or doing work, breathing, and relaxing and energizing yourself is your thoughts. So all of your senses that we have, the hearing, the seeing, the touch, the tasting, all send messages to the brain that can change the regulations of your breath, all of them. So if you're nice and calm sitting here and then an old memory comes up, you may be frightened, you may be saddened, and your breath rate will change. Okay? So in this instance, your mind is not your friend. A lot of times what's going on in your mind is either in the past or it's anticipation in the future. And from Dr. Daniel Amen, he came up with this ANTS. And that stands for automatic negative thoughts. And I believe this because I have some that I see something and automatically I assign negativity to it based on some past experience. And that changes my breathing, tenses me up a little bit, but I have to get rid of it. There's no reason. Am I afraid of something? So that happens a lot. So we must be in the process of learning to recognize and regulate emotions, which can enhance our physical health. So we all kind of have these things. And when certain memories and trauma come up, we must learn to breathe. So I'll pause right here for 1 minute and tell you about. So my whole career has been around trauma, and I've worked with I worked with FEMA doing Hurricane Katrina, and they sent 50 doctors and nurses from Chicago down to Texas because they had displaced. So we were in this abandoned Kmart. Now I had worked in emergency rooms all throughout Chicago, and you notice that people who are traumatized and people suffering from asthma, a lot of time the breathing is the same. It's rapid breathing sometimes, a lot of times, and the nares, the flaring of the nostrils. In asthmatics, they're not getting enough air, so their muscles of their noses are widening, their mouths are open, they're trying to get more air into their lungs. People who've been traumatized kind of do a lot of different things. With children, it's kind of simple. They either have this blank stare and they're breathing fast, but you really have to look at them, okay? And some of them, may be breathing slow. So I'm sitting there, we're giving flu shots or some type of shots to all the people coming in. This guy comes in with his daughter, and she's got a little doll. He's looking for the place where he can get some assistance for some gas for his car. And I looked at this girl, and she's about 6 or 7, and she looked just like one of the young ladies I took care of in emergency rooms. I mean, she had this blank stare. Her nostrils were moving in and out. She wasn't asthmatic, and so I just looked at her. And so for me, it was she had the shock of being down in this place, displaced from her home. But children like to play. So I asked if I could see her doll, and she said, yeah. And we just started playing. And then I had to do something else. So I asked one of the nurses to go ahead and start playing with this girl. And I didn't see her anymore. But just recognizing that, and she was able to breathe slower, calmly, just from play. Play can help you relieve some stress. Okay, slides back up, please. Good slide. Okay, so you have these automatic negative thoughts. You must learn to recognize and regulate the emotions and enhance physical health. Next slide. We'll go into, I'll just show you the other things to do. Okay. What did we not have? Okay, so we have, these are the techniques I'm going to go over. Let's start with the middle one. You see, it says Ujjayi, breathe, Ujjayi, victory, ocean, Darth Vader. That's those are 4 different names of this one breath. Okay, and so you can call it the ocean breath. You can call it whatever you want. For me, it's Darth Vader, but it's a more calming because that makes more sense to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to gently close or narrow my airway. So I'll get close so you can hear me. So I exhale first. Now I'm going to inhale. Okay, could they hear that? Could you guys hear that? They could? Okay. So before you try it, another way of doing that is to just inhale and open your mouth and say, okay, try that again. Inhale through your nose, open your mouth. Now try to do that with your mouth closed. Inhale. Okay, again. Okay, that's Ujjayi, Victory, Ocean, Darth Vader, all the same. If it sounds, see what it sounds like to you. Try it once more. Does it sound like the ocean? Call it ocean breath. Inhale again. Exhale. Mouth is closed. That felt so good. One more time. Now, the thing about this, about the Ujjayi breath, is that for me and the way I practice yoga, all the time when I'm doing yoga poses because it keeps me, it's like a meditation. It keeps me concentrated on what I'm doing. No matter what my instructor is saying or yelling at me, I'm focused on my inhaling in the pose and exhaling. Whether am I stretching my back leg and extending my front leg forward, whatever I'm doing, I'm using Ujjayi. It's hard to do when you're doing the vinyasa, the flowing yoga, but you can do that. So those are just that's all the same. The 4-part breath. That's kind of like what we've been doing. Okay. So in Kemetic yoga, they have something called the rule of 4. It's very, very similar, but we're going to just do the 4-part breath and I'll show you. So exhale first. That's 1. Now inhale to a count of 4. Lower lobes, side ribs are going out, upper lobe. Pause, exhale down. So this is the same type of breathing we've been doing between the slides. Again, inhale. And maybe if you're starting with this, counting will help you. Slight pause, exhale. Okay, once more, those of you who are just starting, exhale and inhale. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Okay. So that's the 4-part breath. And the rule of 4 is very similar. That's from the Kemetic yoga, and Yasir does a really good job on one of his old videos of doing that. It's very similar. Now here is what I consider the I won't say the best breath, but it's a pretty good breath. 2-to-1 prolonged exhalation. And I'll tell you about that. But this is what you do. Exhale first. Inhale to a count of 4. Exhale. Make the exhale longer. Okay, longer than 4. So maybe let's change this. Let's inhale to a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to exhale to a count of 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, or maybe you can't go to 6. So just make the key here is to make the exhale longer. Close your eyes. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Again, inhale. Find your own ratio. Exhale twice as long. Inhale. Exhale. Okay. That's 2-to-1. Next slide, Yudi. Okay. So, clinical use. So, I worked in the adolescent treatment unit for wards of the state. It's University of Illinois. So, about 22 years ago, when we started the unit, when the university started the unit, and I was there, we were doing the same old clinical practices with these wards of the state, these teenagers. You come in, you do a psych evaluation, decide which medications you're going to be on. Then when the children got out, they stopped taking the medications, they ran away, they got in trouble, they came back to the adolescent psych unit. So yoga had really helped me. And so I said, hey, we need to try this. So I started a group of doing yoga with these teenagers who were in the hospital. They had to come to the group, so they had no choice. So those with, and this is one of the breathing practices that we did. Depression, and some of them were depressed, but depression in children and adults can look different. Whereas depression with adults, we tend to think, we're not doing anything, not eating, slow activity, don't want to do anything. With children, and especially younger children, it can be the opposite. They can be depressed and they can be very hyper. So, you just have to be aware of that. But for those children who had the stereotypical adult depression, the lack of energy, we did this ratio breathing, okay? So, and this was designed to provide more oxygen to their lungs. Okay, so let's give it a try. I know none of you are depressed. I know. And this won't put you into depression, okay? All right, let's do this. Okay. So, exhale. Inhale to a count of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale to a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. So you haven't totally exhaled yet. Now begin to inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale. 2, 3. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, let's stop that nonsense. Okay, so you kind of get the picture. Now, nobody's going to do this on their own. So you have to, if you have someone, a loved one, um, that you can interact with, try this. It won't hurt. This is the type of breathing. This is one way of getting them more oxygen into their lungs and into their brain. Because as you're inhaling all this oxygen, you're exhaling. Then you're going right back, inhaling longer, exhaling. Now, the other one, the 2 to 1, is really, really good. Now, a lot of us have anxiety because of the ants in our brain, because of COVID, because of financial situations. And so you want to calm yourself down. So this is called 2 to 1. Um, and in reality, what it is you are exhaling twice as long as you're inhaling. Okay? So you're exhaling twice as long. And usually for teenagers or even adults who are having an episode, a panic attack, if you can gain their confidence and practice this breathing, you can begin to have them calm down. Okay, so let me just demonstrate this first. So I inhale to a count of 3, 2, 3, and exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, exhale. So I'm slowing my exhale down. And when I do that, that signals to my brain, hey, I need to slow down. So the fibers, the neurons begin to slow down. Okay. And you have to do this. Okay. So close your eyes. Imagine that you're hyper and exhale first. Inhale, 2, 3, and nice slow exhale. Use the ujjayi breathing so you can hear yourself exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. And open your eyes and regular breathing. Okay, so that's the clinical use of breathing. And that's been around, but people in different countries have been using the breath to calm situations down. But here in America, it's kind of new to us. I don't know what they're doing now, but that's what I introduced to them like 22 years ago at University of Illinois. And like I said, with children, with younger children, you've got to make this a game. So, Yudi, could you show the video, please?
Larry, actually, for the sake of time, I think I will skip the video, but I can send the link to the chat and people can watch it on their own if they want.
Okay, we're running out of time.
Yeah, I think we should be closing the lecture soon.
Oh, no, you must show my video. Okay, go to the next slide. Okay, so that's this is like the references, and so how do you, we just went over some of the basics and not even all of the basics of breathing, but there are so many different techniques, but this is what I found. If you get the basic techniques, especially the kind of like even breathing, the ujjayi breathing, in which you can hear the sound of the breath. Deep breath. Yudi, do I have time to do one more? I can do one more breath, right? One
Yeah,
more.
go ahead.
Okay. So there's something called Brahmari or bee breath. It's named after a black bee in India. There's different ways to do it, but look, take your thumbs, put them in your ears, or push the little flap of the ear into the ear, or stick your thumbs in your ear. Put your fingers on your forehead. Close your eyes. Well, first of all, take your fingers out of your ears, because you won't hear me if you have your fingers in your ears. We're going to put our fingers in our ears, fingers on top of the head. We're going to inhale, and then when we exhale, we're going to hum like a bee with the fingers in our ears, okay? Nice, stimulating. Okay, so fingers in ears, fingers on foreheads. Inhale, exhale. Again, inhale. Use the ujjayi breath. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Okay. So that's the bee breath. And that sound that you're hearing is a nice calming sound for the nervous system. They've measured that scientifically, and it does calm the nervous system. So where do you go if you're not going for yoga, to a yoga studio, and you want to learn more about breathing? YouTube, look, any of Gabriel Halpern's breathing, go for it. Swami J is a good source. There's a book, uh, Bihar School of, from the Bihar School of Yoga. It's really good. You got to go at YouTube and look up Common and Elmo. Common and Elmo. We were going to show that to you. Iyengar has BKS Iyengar has a great book, The Path to Holistic Health. A scientific book is done by this, he's not a physiologist, he has a PhD in anatomy, David Coulter, Anatomy of Hatha Yoga. Really good book if you like the science. And Dr. Akbar's book. He talks a little bit about the history of yoga, okay, in a spiritual sense. Okay, Yodi, what do we have time for, or are we done?
I think we're done, and we can share. Oh, okay. Let's do. No, we're not done. Like, we're not finished. Let's do Q&A. I will stop recording right now.
Okay.